Here's a team that made the college football playoff last year that brings back a quarterback that has a lot of hype around him, but they lost some really good players. Tennessee. What is Tennessee's ceiling this year?
I don't know, man. What I think right where you put them probably is my gut. I don't know that I would put them.
I haven't put them anywhere yet. We've got to figure out where to put them.
Oh, I thought you started with the ones that are just no doubt about it. I would put them in the second rung probably of like really, really good, but aren't going to win the national title.
So we're thinking can make the playoff, can win a game or two in the playoff,
tier
but
one
probably
is
aren't
could
going to win
win
the
the
title.
national title. Tier 2 is could make the playoff.
Okay. And could maybe win games in the playoff.
And could maybe win. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or I just don't think they can win 4 of them. Yeah.
Okay. So that, because I think that's an interesting conversation with Tennessee. And it's interesting because if Tennessee had played someone other than Ohio State in the first round of the playoff, I wonder if we'd be having different conversations about them going into this year.
I have a hard time when a team has a glaring roster weakness. And
receiver being the weakness for Tennessee?
Either glaring and like, listen,
what about Penn State then?
I think that Penn State did more in the offseason to address their issues than Tennessee did. Am I wrong? Am I forgetting anybody?
No, I don't think that's wrong.
That said, I think that Tennessee has a certain player on their team at the receiver position named Mike Matthews, who was a former 5-star prospect who entered the portal and stayed, who has a chance to break out. And if he turns out to be Calvin Johnson, then that changes. But like, if you have Penn State, to me, they were in a 1-possession game with the ball with 2 minutes when their receiver hadn't had a single reception from a receiver in the entire game. So they've already shown.
Right. Just imagine if they had one good receiver. Exactly. I got you.
If they had, they were already on the precipice of it without that. So, but like that, I'm not trying to neg Tennessee. Yeah. I think it's a really huge year for Nico.
Well, Zach in the chat says wide receivers were open for Tennessee. Nico just wasn't hitting them. Not in the Ohio State game, they weren't open.
I don't think anybody was.
I would agree with you in the early season, but I think Nico got better as the season went on.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've been trying to scope Rivers' facial expressions as I'm talking about this to see if he's in agreement or not. But also too, maybe a viral moment here. I just don't think that Nico in general has lived up to what he was supposed to be yet. And I don't know that I've seen enough out of him to believe or be certain. I'm more certain that DJ Lagway is going to be awesome than I am of Nico, right? And I don't know if you're with me in that boat or not. Though I'm not saying he can't be. I'm just saying I have questions about how close.
I think this is a conversation that is going on within the Tennessee fan base right now. I don't know about the DJ Lagway part of it, but I think this is a legitimate conversation going on within the Tennessee fan base of, is Nico going to blossom into the dynamic, first round NFL talent that he was projected to be coming out of high school? And I think there's a path to that. I think it's interesting because they couldn't get anybody open in the Ohio State game. And you saw him when he had to, making some plays with his legs. Combine that, making the plays with your legs, with some receivers who are getting open and you're hitting them. That's a really good QB.
He has a chance. I'm not saying,
but it's not there yet. It's not there yet.
Here's how you know that I'm not crazy. If you think about how many. By the way, this podcast is going to be 3.5 hours because we're going to have breakdowns.
Can't be. We got to let JD get on.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make it quick. How many SEC quarterbacks come to mind in terms of dynamic excitement that are of the same general age range of Nico that you talk about before him? 3?
Lenore Sellers, DJ Lagway, Garrett Nussmeier.
And then Arch.
And Arch.
4.
Our friends at Whataburger are bringing us there. And look, we are celebrating Whataburger in many, many ways this week. One of the ways, the Mushroom Swiss Burger is back. And it is incredible. Layers of beef and grilled mushrooms and that au jus sauce and Swiss. There might not be a more decadent fast food burger on the market. And it's only here for a limited time. So get it before it's gone. But also, big deal with Whataburger this week, April 4th through the 7th. That is Friday through Monday. Double points on your order. So if you want to order a Whataburger party pack which is 10 burgers. You can do cheese without cheese. You can do grilled jalapenos, avocado, all the different fixins. You customize it. You can do the Whata Wings pack, which is a huge pack of boneless wings, big box of fries, double points on your order. April 4th through the 7th. Bring home the W with Whataburger. Come see us in San Antonio on Saturday. So we'll be across the street from the Alamo, not the Alamo Dome where they're playing the games, the actual Alamo. So all of you who are going to the Final Four, you're staying in those hotels downtown and on the Riverwalk, easy walk. We're actually a much shorter walk than the walk you're going to make at the Dome later that night. Come see us. We'll be there from noon to 4 Central Time. It is going to be so much fun. The Whataburger food truck's going to be there with samples, with some special guests. Confirmed, Ari. Whataburger's executive chef is going to explain how they come up with some of these creations, and I am pumped.
Put that person on the hot seat. The sample thing is going to be, I might have to dip out of the show a few times and go see what's going on down there.
Oh, absolutely. Taste test. We're going to do it all. But come see us. Whataburger, bring home the W. Yeah, and Richie in the chat says, LOL, he was a redshirt freshman. Richie.
You
know what redshirt freshman means? If he's any good, he's leaving after his redshirt sophomore year. So
I just feel like sometimes.
Yeah, Lenora Sellers was a redshirt freshman too. DJ Lagway was a true freshman.
Dave in the chat said, "How does Ari not get his ass kicked? He says things in the most condescending way." Do I? I don't want to be condescending.
Oh, I think I'm way more condescending than you.
Yeah, you get condescending when you're angry. I don't want to be condescending conversationally.
I don't think you're being condescending about this. I think you are not saying anything that is not being said on the VolQuest message boards right now. Nothing you're saying.
From him, you saw moments from him. It's like, wow. Like there were moments from Nico last year where I was like, wow. Like, okay. Like there was a pass at the Oklahoma game. I was at that game that he hit. Do you remember that pass that he hit through the middle?
Yes.
It was like a freaking frozen rope that was 50 yards down the field. I was like, holy hell.
I remember seeing Nico in a scrimmage last spring, and it was a good on good scrimmage. And the improvisational skills were great. And I was like, okay, this is what Tennessee didn't have in that year with Joe Milton as a starter. And then you get into the season, and there were times when he was overthrowing receivers and it just wasn't quite connecting. I felt like as the season went on, he started connecting a little more. I still don't think he's put it all together. And my thing with Nico is if he does put it all together, that's a really good quarterback who's going to be a first-round draft pick. But like the problem is I have already seen DJ Lagway put it all together against good SEC teams. And he only started 6 games last year.
Yeah, and having good weapons helps. And I don't know. I mean, they had one of the best running backs in college football last year. I don't know if that counts as a weapon.
Dylan Sampson was absolutely a weapon. And Tennessee's offensive line is going to be different this year. Now, it could be better because you've got some good, like Lance Hurd said he was hurt a lot of last year. Like if he's fully healthy, that's a really good athlete at left tackle. We'll see if David Sanders Jr., the number 1 offensive line recruit in the country, winds up starting at right tackle. I think there's a good chance of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that we're on a pretty rational plane here. And like there were times during last year's season where I thought Tennessee's had a chance to win the national title, especially in the first half of the year.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that can happen again. They didn't really. Outside of
are they in the can win the national title club, or do we think they're in the can make the playoff and win a game or two?
I would safely put them in playoff, win a game or two at the moment.